Oh my. Oh my.
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Radio Show.
Yo, you know what it is and what it do. You are officially tuned in to the Revolution Radio Show, aka the Revolution Podcast. And I'm your boy J Love, along with my beautiful co-host, Miss Cherie Marlene.
Hey, everybody.
And Miss Melion. What's going on?
What's up? What's up? Happy Thursday.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Today's show is gonna be so darn ridiculous that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to contain myself. So with that being said, I want to jump right in just a couple things real quick. Y'all know it's still Black History Month, you know, yes, people, all month long. And like I tell y'all every day, I'm Black History 365 days a year, but in February, I'm extra blackety black, crispy crackly black. You feel me? So every day I'm bringing you stuff that you didn't hear.
Even though he
didn't.
He light skin, blackity black.
Hey, don't hate on light skinned people, man.
I love light skin. Check my X record. I'm just kidding.
we the most militant. You feel what I'm saying? So shout out to all the light skinned brothers out there. Don't let them hate on you. But look, here's what's going on. So every day I bring you stuff that, you know, little Black history facts that show how Black people touch the world, how our footprint and our fabric is intertwined, because Black history is not just U.S. history, but it's world history. And so today our special spotlight is I want to shout out Dr. Samuel Achelifu, and I hope I said that right. He's Nigerian. So to all my Nigerians, what is this, brother? What are you doing today? But Dr. Samuel is dope because he developed these special high-tech infrared goggles which enable surgeons to see cancer cells during surgery. How gangster is that?
Wow.
See, we don't just play basketball. We not just rappers. We're developing goggles that allow surgeons to see cancer cells in surgery. Come on, man. That is super gangster. You know what I mean? And that's not just a U.S.
You got the goggles on right now?
Yeah,
that's
man, that's what I do. You know, I do surgery. You did. Shout out to Dr. Samuel from Nigeria for doing that. Yo, I'm telling you, learn about Black history because it is all of our history.
Thank you.
So I just had to, that was my daily Black history shout out. You feel me? Before we get into the show, real quick, you know, I know people have been having a really difficult time due to the whole COVID situation this last year. It's weird how 2 weeks has turned into literally about to be a year. And there's some folks that are still having a hard time. So if you're in the Inland Empire area here in California, I wanted to make an announcement about a food auction that's going on in the city of Upland tomorrow. Okay. So it's not necessarily free, but it's like literally pennies on the dollar. So for example, say cans of soda for like 10 cents. Right. So it's going on in the city of Upland tomorrow at 6 p.m. The types of food, it's going to be all kinds of food from I heard there's all kinds of like baby food, which, you know, definitely is expensive. And I know some of you ladies out there could use that non-refrigerated milk, bottled water, canned fruit, all kinds of stuff. So for more information, it's going to be at 110 North 3rd Avenue in the city of Upland at 6 p.m. For more information, call 424-282-6959. That's 424-282-6959 for the food auction in Upland, California. Go check that out because I know that's something that could definitely be a blessing to some folks. So
and shout out to my city. That's the city I graduated in. That's Upland.
Okay,
emotional for me. Okay, my little Upland. My Highlanders out there.
You know what I mean?
What was Upland like? What was growing up?
It's suburban.
First of all,
is that true? Is that true?
It was awesome. Yeah, a lot of diversity, right? If you were above Foothill or you were below,
you know, it's hood adjacent. You know what I mean? It's not, there ain't no hood in Upland, but it's hood adjacent. You know what I mean? You drive a couple blocks.
Got the aroma, the air coming in.
There was a lot of diversity. Thank you. Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but that being said, wait, I got to get my horn. Hold on. Let me get my horn.
Really
no, I need the horn because, you know, we about to
I need the horn, actually. I need
We
to get the
about to do
horn.
this. We about to do this real big, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and I gotta put my phone closer. This is so we get the whole full effect. We gotta get the whole full effect here. We can't.
You
just...
can't tell them it's a phone. It's supposed to be a button. There you go.
Yo, coming right now. I gotta introduce this one of my favorite artists of all time. It's one of my favorite. Like, yo, I know it's Black History Month, but this white boy got invited to the picnic for sure. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he's got a lifetime invite to the picnic. The brother said, like, I'm trying to tell y'all what's going down. I'm trying to let you know this is one of the baddest dudes on the planet. You dig? I don't even, without any further ado, I don't want to say nothing no more, but I got to hit the horn one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, please show some love on the Revolution Radio Show live on 102.3 FM KCAA for that dude, the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Miner. Tim, what's going on, man?
Woo.
Hey, Tim.
What's up,
Welcome,
Tim?
welcome. Yes, thank you.
Hey.
How are y'all?
Man,
Great,
Tim, I'm so
great.
excited, man. I'm so excited to have you on the show. We all are. You know, this is such a great honor, dude, because I feel like it's, y'all want to know how I met Tim? This is a great story. Okay, so I was telling the story earlier. The first time I ever seen Tim was literally in 1992. Okay, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You know what I mean? You remember the long, luscious hair you had? He had long, luscious hair, and the dude was wearing spandex shorts and shirts. And I was like, I didn't know how to do that.
Wait a minute. Spandex shorts.
Wait, in
Yes.
church?
Shorts.
Yeah, it was a concert. Yeah, that's what he was doing. He was doing it, like, you know what I mean?
Tim.
And was dancing.
Okay.
Had dancers. And so after that, I figured I could wear spandex at church. So
Ooh.
in my head for years, right? Because I've been a fan since then. My favorite album, by the way, is the Tim Miner, the one on Motown. But for years in my head, me and Tim were friends. Like, he didn't know that, right? He didn't know that, but we was friends for years. Like, you know what I'm saying? We would go hang out, like, in my
Sounds
head.
a little crazy, just a little, but yeah.
Just a little bit. You know what I mean? That's, you know. So, you know, so we would go hang out. And then so literally, I want to say a couple months ago on Instagram, right? Because hopefully he's gonna sing one of my favorite songs. If not, I got a recording of it. We're gonna play it either way. But he posted, you know, this version of that song, right, which we'll talk about later. And like, I was just, that song gets me every time. So I just, you know, was like, oh my God, this the good, you know, blah, 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 whatever, right? So as a joke, I didn't think he would respond, right? And then, well, not that part wasn't a joke, the next part. So I just, you know, and then he responded to me, and I'm like, yo, get out of here. Tim Miner responded to me. So then I hit him back, and this was a joke. As a joke, I was like, Tim, you know that me and you are best friends, right? And he was like, yeah, for sure. I was like, man, don't play with me, dude, because you know what I mean? I'll start stalking you. So ever since then, we've been, you know what I mean? That's my man's right there. So that's my play cousin. Tim Miner's my play cousin. So that's what's up with it.
Hey, shout out to Cuzzo.
That's awesome.
You know, I'm from Hawaii, so you know, so in Hawaii, everybody's cousins.
Boom.
Oh, man, I was just talking to someone. I've never been to Hawaii. So-
You need to go. It's beautiful.
So my dad was full-blooded Hawaiian, and my mom was blonde-haired, blue-eyed Okie from Oklahoma. And so it's a long story, and I won't bore you with how Hawaii met Oklahoma. So half of me has a foot in Oklahoma, and the other half of me is in Hawaii, where all my family is. So
That's a big splits.
that's a big,
Yeah.
big. So imagine church, because my dad was more the soulful artist, and my mom was more country and Southern gospel. And so
Wow.
I can hear that in your music. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I got
Kind of that inspiration.
between both. And my mom was my dad. I never learned to read music, but my dad, he didn't. You know, he never learned to read either. So my mom was the educated music person, and me and my dad just kind of you know, taught ourselves all the instruments.
Wait a minute, how many instruments do you play?
I play 17.
What?
My dad played 17.
17?
My mom played
my
17 instruments, but she knew the notes she was playing. Me and my dad,
17.
well, I don't know, it sounds good, so I'm just gonna. But I don't play any brass, but anything with strings, keys, drums was my first instrument.
I was gonna say, what's
so-
your top 5, but what's your top 10?
Well,
Instruments.
Right.
like guitar and piano is keyboards. That's what I write with the most. But you know, I play when you hear productions that I do. I play almost always. I play everything on the stuff I produce. So. Bass,
That's incredible.
drums,
Man, you play so much music. You start inspiring music to come in. Like,
Who is that from me?
that's
No,
all. That's,
I just like to play tracks underneath, you know.
This
give it a-
is what you've done to J Love. This
you
is
see, it just created a whole ambience, a whole music ambience. That's the music talking. That's amazing. That shows so much dedication, because even learning one instrument is like hard enough, like learning the piano or staying consistent with it. So how did you find time, like in between writing and being an artist? Because I know that takes a whole grind too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. In the beginning, as a teenager, it was just to get girls. So, I played sports, so that was half of it. But
Wait, you had time for sports too?
yeah, when you go up to a girl and you say, I wrote this for you, and you
Yeah,
start
man.
saying something that's never been heard before, it doesn't matter.
Oh man, that's a panty
It
drop.
doesn't matter who the starting quarterback is. she's gonna pick the musician. So so that was my first motivation, and then like I said, sports was my dream. It was never my dream to do music. I wanted to play football at Oklahoma University, and then I wanted to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And
What position? Because usually in basketball I can tell what position, but football is a little different.
yeah, so I'm only 5'8", but I had a 44-inch vertical, so I could out jump 6-footers that were covering me in football. And so I was a wide receiver. I ran back the kicks and punts, and I had a 4.3 40, so I was fast too. So I was little, fast, and I could jump.
Wow.
So you actually black, Tim. That's what you're
Wow.
saying. Did you for real just
Describe.
It's definitely the brown side for sure. Because all my uncles and family in Hawaii, they're all 6'5", 6'6". But my dad was the same height as me. He was 5'8", and he was athletic as well. So that was my path. And then on my 16th birthday, I got hit by a drunk driver in the car that I was in. I was in the back seat, and I had a head injury from that accident, and literally lost my scholarships because I couldn't play sports anymore. And so then music, which was just a hobby, became everything to me, and I just
look at God,
got to
though.
hold up.
Wow.
Look at God, though.
Gave me the chills. Wow.
So my
That's
motivation, God knows, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah. You were meant to touch lives through music for sure.
Well, I'm very, very grateful looking back. I do believe that with all my heart.
Wow.
Because maybe if that didn't happen, like you would have probably still tried to pursue football, and you wouldn't have like been able to reach as many people through music.
No, absolutely. I mean, how do you put a price on that, right?
God
So
works in mysterious ways.
I gotta ask, who is say the top 3? Because I know you've worked with everybody. Who would you say is like the top 3 of people you've had an opportunity to work with?
Well,
And like for the people who don't know, can you give us like a list of people that you've actually worked with?
Quincy,
before?
Brian McKnight. Ooh.
my first number 1 was Gladys Knight when I was 18.
Wow.
My last number 1 was Justin Bieber. Everyone in between, Reverend Al Green,
Wow.
Steve Perry from Journey, the lead singer from Journey, Dionne Warwick, Stevie Wonder, Boyz II Men. That, and then the gospel side. I grew up, around the Winans, and I could just go on and on and on about how great they are. But my top, Quincy Jones, when I was 15 years old.
Ooh, Quincy.
He took me under his wing.
15.
I was 15. So at 15, before I gave up my football career, I had a record deal offer in LA from a company that moved from LA to Nashville, but they were in LA at the time. And I'm like, I'm not going to make records. I'm playing football. Y'all crazy.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
after I got in the car accident, I literally called them back and said, hey, do you guys still want me? That label ended up becoming Sparrow Records, which ended up becoming EMI Gospel. So my first job in LA was cleaning restrooms and fetching coffee and cleaning a recording studio where Quincy and Michael Jackson were recording. I mean, everybody was recording there, but they were the biggest deal, to me.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was told, don't look at them, don't talk to them, don't speak to them, don't. And one night after Michael and Quincy had finished working, Quincy was in the control room by himself, and I called my studio manager. I said, hey, it's 2:00, man, in the morning. Everyone's gone. Can I please I won't talk to them. Can I just go clean up the studio? And they said, yeah, but don't talk to him. So I go on, I'm picking up coffee cups and I'm cleaning stuff. And Quincy looks at me and he says, hey, kid, come here, sit down. And then I thought, man, I'm being punked. Someone's trying to get me fired, And I'm looking around and he's like, no, it's okay. Come here, sit down. He goes, tell me your story. Where are you from?
Wow.
I said, I just got here from Oklahoma. Half of my family's in Hawaii. The other half's in Oklahoma. I said, I just signed a deal with a Christian label. And he said, you're a writer? And I said, yeah. He goes, you play? I said, yes, sir. He goes, you sing? I said, yes, sir.
Wow.
He said, well, come on. So we go out to the studio and sit at the piano, and he sits next to me.
Oh my God.
And he said, play me something. So I start playing stuff that he wrote.
Like a boss.
I started playing stuff that he wrote, and he's like, I'm talking about the old stuff like Miles Davis, like all jazz stuff. I start playing it. He's like, wait, what did you play? I said, that's your chords. Those are your chords. He goes, well, show me that again. So I'm playing his songs back to him, and that day set a relationship that to this day is one of my most treasured relationships. And he said, look, here's my number. He said, I want you to come over and meet my family, come hang out. I want you to sing for my wife. Like, he was going through this whole thing. So
wow. That's amazing.
And maybe about, 6 months after that, he said, look, he goes, you tell people that Quincy Jones is your godfather. And he said, I'm gonna look after you out here. And he said, if there's any questions you have or any phone calls that you need me to make to open up a door or whatever, he said, don't hesitate to call me. So he literally started treating me like a son. And I grew up around his kids. Some of them were older than me. Some of them were my same age. Some of them were younger. So every time I'm in LA, I take him to dinner or we eat at his house and we catch up. And he's the wisest human being I've ever met in my life.
This is
Dude,
amazing.
I'm about to cry right now. Like, that is a crazy
That's
story.
a real story. And the discipline that you had to like not want to talk to him, and like, I'm such a talkative person. I would have been like, hey Quincy, how's your day going? Like, I would at least, but you called and asked for permission and like just did your thing. You were just cleaning, and how God just worked, through you or just through the cleaning aspect. And then, hey kid, come over here. Just you happen just to be cleaning, doing what you were doing. Like,
talk
that's
about
amazing.
God's favor. Jeez.
And let me
For
just
sure.
say this. For the childrens, for the kids, but who don't know who Quincy Jones is, I don't care Migos, I don't care Drake, Quincy Jones is the single dopest dude in the history of the music industry.
Legendary.
Over the last, 60 years?
More, man. Stuff he did as a teenager that
Wow.
you wouldn't believe. It's like, golly, Quincy did that too. Like, I still find things today that I didn't know that he wrote or that he produced or that he arranged.
So how often do you talk to him, Tim? Is it like like you could literally call him and say Happy Thursday type of thing?
Oh yeah. I don't. He's not in very good health right now. So anybody out there listening, we call him Q. So keep Q in your prayers. The last time I went out to take him to dinner, I called him. I said, where would you like to go tonight? And he's like, man, I'm not really feeling that well. Is it okay if we eat here? So I said, yeah, it's no problem. And went to his house. And I said, what's wrong, Quincy? Like, because he looked frail. I'm like, what's wrong? And he said, Nothing, man. He said, we're just given one set of batteries. And he said, I've completely run my batteries out.
Wow.
And, yeah.
How long ago was this, Tim?
This was a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Okay, we're keeping him in prayer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
There's nothing. He's not sick. There's nothing wrong with him. I mean, that's how he explained it to me, and I take him at his word. He's just, I ran my batteries down. But the last time I talked to him was probably 8 months ago, something like that. But yeah, if I needed something, I'm telling you, I could tell you crazy stories all day about him. Where as a kid, I'm like, hey, Quincy, can you get me a meeting with Steven Spielberg? I said, I got this great movie.
And he would make it happen.
And my movie idea was terrible, but I at least got to sit down with Steven and tell him my stupid kid idea.
That is so gangster.
My godfather was Quincy Jones.
That's incredible.
Amazing. So are you close to Quincy Jones Jr. and the whole pack and the kids?
Not really, not like I am with Quincy. Like I mean, I know all of them, and we all broken bread together over the decades. But no, I mean, not really close as I am with Quincy.
So let me ask you this: go ahead, Mina.
I was gonna say a side note. So you were around Michael Jackson too. Like, I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson as well, and like, just one thing, like, what was Michael Jackson like? Or you're in the studio.
He was very shy and very cool, but he was very in control. And look, I wasn't close to him like Macaulay Culkin and people like that. Like mine was, a brief here and there when I would come, be there before they started or be there when they were finishing. So it was I never went to the house or anything like that, but it was but man, come on, that dude was a genius too. And you imagine putting those two men in a studio together. That's why the biggest selling albums of all time. Before streaming and before TikTok,
dynamic duo.
They were actually selling the physical records.
CDs.
So even before CDs, they were selling the physical album, vinyl, and
vinyl,
and all of that. Then CDs came out, and but so to me that's a bigger thing when you are selling physical copies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is
imagine if those were stream days, like how many streams? Oh, it'll be.
Oh man, can you imagine?
Yeah. So let me ask you this: you've worked with a ton of people. Who would you say are a couple artists besides J Love that you haven't worked with yet that you would like to work with?
Honestly, like not really any. I feel like I've worked with everybody I ever wanted to work with that's living, but there are a ton of people that I would have loved to have. What would it have been like to be sitting in the room with Marvin Gaye, or to sit with Charles, or even my mom's side of me, Johnny Cash and some of those people. It would have been cool, Elvis Presley, to have been around those people and worked with them. But no, living, I feel like I've checked everybody off my list that I ever wanted to do.
So then it just means you got to do a record then. That's what you're saying. So just me and you got to do a record then. That's what you're saying to complete your career.
Done deal.
That's amazing. Just that statement alone is an accomplishment. Like, you pretty much checked off everybody you want to work with. So are you ever open to like working with secular artists, or do you feel like, not like now?
I haven't produced a gospel artist in over 20 years. I've only produced secular artists.
Yeah. I meant like, sorry, not to say that, but like gospel, going back to only gospel, or do you feel like it's ever, interfered with your religion, or, not religion, but, like sometimes people get battered for like being, like I'm a Christian, and certain, are you a Christian artist? Are you a secular artist? There's things that I talk about in songs. Do you feel like you've ever...
You segued into a perfect thing. So my new album that I literally just finished yesterday is called Somewhere Between the Blues and Hymns. And it's because I've sang in bars, and like as a Christian artist, when I toured in Australia, years ago, there was no Christian radio or secular radio. If
Yeah.
your stuff was R&B gospel, then you got played on the R&B stations right along with Jodeci and everybody else. If you were a Christian country singer, you got played on there were no Christian bookstores, and it was this cool universe in Australia that I'd never seen in my entire life, where nothing was separated. Whatever genre it is, it's that genre. Okay, so your lyrics are talking about God. But your genre is still this.
Right.
I think that's
dope.
amazing. Right.
I grew up, and I don't mean this to sound lukewarm because that's not what I'm saying. But I did grow up with 1 foot, in the secular side, 1 foot in church. I've never not served God my entire life. Never. I've been an ordained minister since I was 16. Now, have I done everything in my life that I'm proud of? No. But I'm saying that I have I feel comfortable singing Christian music in a bar, and I feel comfortable singing a Ray Charles song Sunday morning church.
Absolutely.
And I do it to it knocks people off kilter, and then I get whatever I want to say. I feel like I've got their attention and they're listening to me. So this album that I'm doing right now, most of the songs were written in the 1800s, old hymns.
Wow.
But my kids didn't know them because the way that we were taught these old hymns was, it was corny. It had passed its time.
Yeah.
So I went in and I flipped all of these songs that were 1800. There's 11 songs on the album. There's only one original, and it's the song called Somewhere Between Blues and Hymns. And I basically talk about it, how, my life and...
it's that battle, that back and forth. And
yeah, the back and forth. But I think God created me. I say that in the song. It's like God created me to be this way.
Created you to be you.
So speaking of...
He created me to be able to sit down and write a song with the Billie Eilish, who's agnostic. And also, Justin Bieber wasn't serving the Lord when I worked with him. I worked on the Christmas album. So he is now. And, but not, Lady Gaga, she wasn't a Christian when I worked with her. Her pastor's Joel Osteen now. So,
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, Steve Perry, the lead singer from Journey, that when they broke up, he kind of started doing solo records. I led him to the Lord in my driveway, working on his album.
Wow.
So
oh my gosh.
I'm comfortable with people that are alcoholics, that are,
as we should be.
They are. That's like,
so there's not that guilt. That's amazing.
Because I talk about golf as my church. And so I'm talking about, felons and, womanizers and alcoholics and drug addicts are all at the
Wow.
And what they'll do is they know that I believe in God. When they need prayer for a relationship with their kids or their wife or whatever it is, they call me the Rev. So they come to me and I pray for them over their issues. I want to be like, if Jesus did it wrong, I want to be like him. I don't want to be
he hung around with sinners.
I want to be in the streets. I want to be but I am comfortable in both. I'm comfortable putting a suit on, and I'm comfortable, showing tattoos and singing in a club. So it's how God, he created us all differently, but it is exactly how he created me.
I feel like what you're saying, it's so powerful, because I think we forget as believers that we are the church. It's not just the building. It's not just the organization. So you're taking it so far beyond the building that it's so inspirational.
And two, I don't have anything against the building. I was
no.
And all that. Cause sometimes people take it the wrong way. I have nothing but respect for the building. Like, I'm a fifth generation preacher's kid. So I have the utmost respect for all of that.
And you're reaching people that, pastors can't reach, or, certain people in church can't reach outside the building. It's like, I relate to that journey. That's the first two letters of Melion, me. I was explaining that what it stands for is who God made you. This is me. I was born a Buddhist. a Buddhist. I became Catholic. I even became agnostic. And now I'm a firm believer of Jesus Christ. He's
Awesome.
real. He's great. He's amazing. So, and I'm a hip hop artist. So like in the beginning, I was kind of like foot in, foot out kind of thing. But no, you shouldn't have that guilt. God's blessings don't come with guilt. So these stories that you're sharing is so inspiring. So thank you so much. We appreciate
look
you.
at Chance the Rapper. It's like,
exactly.
I love that dude. I love like every lyric, everything that comes out of his mouth, in my opinion, glorifies God.
And in a more subtle way, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. And look, people don't want to hear this, but there was a heavy anointing on Prince. I don't care what anyone
absolutely.
says.
Absolutely.
There was a heavy listen, God created the song. Everyone goes, no, that's Satan. No, Satan didn't create anything. What Satan did, he messed up when he started seeing all this glory come out of him. He started getting a fat head and saying, look at all this stuff that I'm creating. The thing he failed to do was to look back behind him, where the throne of God and the Holy Spirit was flowing from underneath the throne through him, creating that light. That did not come. So listen, we had the song first. Satan perverted the song, but we had the song first. And I'm telling you, there was an anointing on Prince and others that people don't agree with things that they've said or done. Look, we've all said and done stupid things, but the hand of God has never, ever left me. No matter, look at King David. I mean, I've never killed anybody to sleep with their wife, but God said, you're a man after my own heart.
Well, he said, my gifts and my calling are irrevocable and without repentance.
Yeah, he doesn't take it back. It doesn't get squashed. And hopefully before it's too late and we're taken home, we are grateful and acknowledge where it comes from. And I've never had a problem humbling myself and giving credit where credit is due. And this all comes from the throne. This all comes from God.
Okay, so speaking of the gift and the anointing, can you bless us with a song? Because I don't want the guitar to just be a prop, and I'm selfish that way. And if
I need to hear this.
And if I can't give a request, I'm trying to be broken before the Lord right now. So forgive me.
Hey, yeah. Ooh. I've been raised in the perfect surroundings. Go to church once a week, sometimes two. Lord, I wanna be what you want me to be. But often sin represents all I do. Forgive me once again. Cleanse me. Forgive me once again. Cover me. Oh. 'Cause I don't even know why your mercy never dies. But I'm glad. Oh, I'm glad. Your spirit always seems to grab me just before I go over the edge. What I can't understand is why you're even here. When I've trashed my oath and my pledge. Ooh. Forgive me once again. Cleanse me. Forgive me once again. Cover me. 'Cause I don't even know why your mercy never, never dies. But I'm glad. Oh, I'm glad. My grandpa taught me this song. He said, I need the every hour. Oh, blessed Lord. No tender voice like thine could peace afford. And oh, I need thee, oh, I need thee every hour, every hour. I need thee, oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee, and I don't even know why your mercy never, never dies. But I'm glad. Lord, I'm glad. Jesus, I'm glad. Ooh, I'm glad. Ooh, ooh.
Whoo! Oh my God. If you are just tuning in, you are listening to the Revolution Radio
Amazing.
Show on 102.3 FM KCAA. And that was the legendary Tim Miner with an acoustic live version of, in my opinion, his greatest song and one of the greatest songs in the history of songs, Forgive Me.
Ooh, thank you for that. You got us all praising and worshiping with you.
That one messes me up every time, dude. Every time that one messes me up, because
Thank
I'm
you so much.
it just it's crazy, man, because for everything I've been through in my life, those words, it was like you, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but I feel like you wrote it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was fortunate enough that my even though I grew up quote unquote in the hood, my mother raised me with the foundation of faith. And I knew God since the time I was young. I was exposed to the things of God since I was young, but I was raised in the perfect surroundings. I went to church once a week, sometimes two. And but I did my thing. And even throughout my life, later after I surrendered my life to God, like I still did my thing. But he never, I can't understand why he just won't turn his face away from me. You know what I mean? And it was a psalmist who said, I could go to the pits of hell, yet you are there with me. So hey, I go on and on, man. But that song just for me.
And there's also scripture that says, raise up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. So no matter how much I wanted to play sports, the prayers of my mother and my grandmother and grandfather and my dad and and just absolute will of God. It just wasn't the will of God for me to go that path. And I'm at 57 now. I'm still.
Oh man, you look
Wow,
good
you
for
can't
57,
even
man.
tell.
But I'm still doing
that. That good Hawaiian don't crack.
That's right. But no, I feel good. I've got young kids. Like I waited till I was older. I had my first kid at 40, and then had my last kid at 50.
40's not old, right? 40's not old.
It's not.
No.
It isn't at
Absolutely
all.
not.
Take care of yourself. And
So you just said you're 57. What were your best years? Like your 20s, your teens, your 30s, your 40s?
Best in what way?
Just overall, like what would you say was like your favorite decade?
I'm kind of digging right now. I'm one of those people that
Nice.
in the present, living here, and I'm very grateful for my past. And like I said, some things I'm proud of and some things I'm not so proud of. But where I am right now as a father and a husband and a worshiper, and like I said, I don't ever force my religion on people. When I'm sitting in a sound stage with a symphony and we're about to compose something for a film, I'm not there preaching. But people notice there's something different about you, and I feel like
they feel your light. They see your light. They feel it.
Yeah, I feel like we carry that light. When it says "Greater is He that is in us," I mean, so I take that verbatim. It's like He's inside of us, and that holds me. That makes me bite my tongue when I want to say something I shouldn't, and it also keeps me on my toes when I know I'm around non-believers, especially if they let me know that they are agnostic, atheist, whatever.
Do you feel like you had to say something, at least like, bring up Jesus or anything ever?
No, they just go, man, where did you get that idea? Like, where did that come from? Like this move, like it could be a violin movement that I wrote, where did that come from? And now they open the door.
Right.
Where did you learn to sing? Like, where did you learn to sing like that? And they
just give him the credit. Just give him the credit.
Yeah, they want you to say that a human being is responsible for your gift. And so when they ask me, then I'm going to tell them exactly where it comes from. But if they don't ask, sometimes, we're not supposed to necessarily harvest the crops. Sometimes we're supposed to be there just to plant the seed. Sometimes we're supposed to be there just to show them. And then someone else that God puts in their life is the one that gets to do the harvest, and I've done the harvesting where someone else has planted the seed.
Right.
Steve Perry, y'all remember him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with him, he hired a guitar player who I'd never met, but the guitar player was a Christian, gave him my Motown record as a Christmas present.
Wow.
Steve calls my manager and says, this is Steve Perry. I would like to meet Tim Miner, your artist. And so my manager, Michael, so this is a black man that if it's not black music, he doesn't know who you are. So he called me, he goes, Tim, some dude named Steve Perry called, and I go, from Journey? And he's like, I don't know, maybe I hear.
Oh my God!
And I called him, but that guitar player planted the seed with him, and
absolutely,
I got the opportunity to do the harvesting with him, like I told you, in my driveway of my house.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
And how did real quick? How did that moment happen?
Okay, so I asked him. I said, hey. Would you ever just come to church with me? I said, I'm doing a concert in Seattle at this cool church. And I go, you can sit in the balcony and no one will bother you. I won't introduce you, nothing. But would you want to go? And he said, I'll go to church with you if you'll go to an AA meeting with me. So I said, okay, you got it. And we were working on he's from Marin County. So San Francisco, that's where all the Journey guys are from. So I go to an AA meeting in San Francisco with him.
What if he would have said, like, if you go to a Scientology meeting with me or like an atheist meeting with me, I'll go to church with you.
I would have done it. If the end result is you come in my backyard, I would do it. So I go to this AA meeting and they take up an offering, Everyone gives $1. They have testimonial service.
Right.
Hi, my name is Steve Perry. I'm an alcoholic.
Right.
And then they say at the end of every AA meeting, they say the Lord's Prayer. So we're in my driveway. So I went to his AA meeting. He went to church with me in the Seattle thing. Then we're back in Dallas at my studio, my home there at the time. And we're in the driveway. And he said, man, he said, the only problem I have with this Christianity stuff is this Jesus thing. He said, you're saying that the only way that I am redeemed is through the door of Jesus. Right. And I said, yes. And he said, well, that's the part I have a hard time with. I said, well, let me ask you a question. You know that prayer you guys say at the end of AA? And he goes, oh, that prayer has saved my life. I said, do you know who authored that prayer? And do you know when they authored it? He goes, no. He goes, it's the guys that started AA. I go, no. That was what Jesus prayed right before he got on a cross and died for you. And he goes, man, I'm in. What do we do? And I led him through a little simple sinner's prayer, and Steve Perry got born again that day.
That's amazing. Wow. What a amazing story. Thank you for sharing that.
But man, what if I would have said, I'm not going to go to an AA meeting?
Yeah.
I mean, I told him, I said, look, your AA meeting is just like church. And I don't know if you guys know this or not. AA was created by 2 Pentecostal pastors who were both alcoholics. They wrote the entire curriculum for Alcoholics Anonymous.
No, I didn't know that part, but I assumed it had to do something like that because I didn't go to AA, but I went to Al-Anon, right? Because my stepfather was an alcoholic. Okay. So I was like, and I remember thinking like, yo, this is like church. Like they do a lot of church stuff. They do a whole lot of church stuff at this thing. You know what I mean? So I assumed that was the case. Let me ask you this, man, not necessarily to switch gears, but this last year in the history of our lives has been, I'd venture to say, at least the most interesting, for lack of a better word. How have you and your family, man, dealt with the whole, the pandemic and the lockdown and all that? Because I'm sure it affected even your work at times,
Yeah, it did. I mean, everything, like everybody else, it came to a stop. But we got COVID before we knew that there was a name for it. So,
oh, wow.
February of last year, it went through my entire house. My 5-year-old, my 13-year-old, my 15-year-old, my wife, it went through our entire, and I didn't know what it was at the time. I felt like it was the worst flu I'd ever experienced in my entire life. And then I find out later it was COVID, and we all have the antibodies now if anybody needs them, but it went through our house. And then right after that, my wife was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And so she went through COVID. This is where I give glory to God. She went through COVID and got better, got good, and then got diagnosed with cancer and had to throw herself right into the chemotherapy and all that stuff. So, which for all of you cancer survivors and people out there that have any knowledge of it, your immune system is wrecked.
It is, yeah, totally.
And when she was diagnosed, we went in and they told her, they said, look, when you do chemo, you're going to get nauseous and blah, blah, blah. They gave her 3 prescription medicines just for nausea. Wow. Do you know my wife never cracked open one of those bottles ever because she never got nauseous. She never got sick. We got up, we did our daily devotional. We read the Bible. We prayed every day. And not just for her. People were reaching out to us. We prayed for other cancer people that had cancer that were diagnosed before, the same time, and after. We had a list and we prayed for them as well. So how I dealt with all of the pandemic and all of that stuff, it's like for me, it gave me time to focus on everything that's important and let go of all the things that are not important, the nonsense and the whole political, all of that stuff that has happened. It's all just been ugly, nasty.
How's your wife doing now? Like, where is she at now with her journey?
Cancer free.
Man.
Wow. You got to say that. I was like still hanging on, like, wait, what's going on? That was like, wow. Wow, that's amazing. So she holistically, in a way, healed through God. I mean, not holistic, but like no medicine and naturally
Well,
through prayer.
she went through chemotherapy.
Mhm.
I know she wouldn't mind me telling you this because whenever I did a Christmas tour in December, and I brought her up on stage and let her give her testimony. And when I start touring this new hymns record in March and go all the way through the end of the year, she's going with me, and I bring her on stage because her story is amazing.
Powerful.
She went through the chemo, she went
Mhm.
through the double mastectomy, she went through the reconstruction,
Oh,
all of these
wow.
things, and they were like, look, you're probably going to have radiation too, which most people don't know. That's a completely different set of poison
Oh
they put in
wow.
your body.
Mhm.
And when the radiologist did the blood work on her after all the chemo, the radiologist sent a letter. I have it still. It said, you don't qualify for radiation because there's nothing
Wow.
there.
Wow.
Wow, what a
That is
miracle.
amazing.
So what
That
made her
is,
decide not to take the medicine? You were saying that like
She never,
she
well, the
didn't.
she
medicine
didn't
was
need
just
it.
if she felt nauseous, like she was going to throw up, and she never got
Oh,
nauseous. She
wow.
did take the
That's
chemo,
amazing.
but the
Yeah.
Yeah,
chemo
yeah.
sick, like they
Okay.
said. And I want to say this to anyone that's out there that is going through this, or you're scared, or you're afraid to go, you felt a lump or whatever, and you're afraid to go
Mhm.
have it checked out. Because she found it so early, that was success. That was, and look, God uses, people are like, I'm not doing chemo, God's going to heal me. Look, God created doctors and medicine and
Exactly.
science. So,
Absolutely.
but here's where the God factor kicks in. After you've done all of that, I feel like I'm about to sing a Donnie McClurkin song. But after you've done all of that, you've done all
Yeah.
the science and medicine and doctors and done that thing. When that stops or runs its course, then it's the supernatural hand of God. Look, he built us, he created us. Every cell in our body he created. He knows more than anyone how to heal that. So he does use doctors, he does use nurses.
So
He
are you
uses
for or against the vaccines? I just want to know.
well, and I had it. I had COVID. My whole family did. I'm not for it or against it. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, to be honest. I never taken a flu shot.
Okay.
Everybody I've ever heard that took a flu shot gets the flu. So I dealt with the flu.
So it sounds like you're against maybe forced vaccination. Like if we all had to get it. Are you against that?
Telling me I have to do anything unless it's my creator that says you have to get on your knees and humble yourself. And look, my relationship with God is such that we have conversations like you guys, like we're having right now. And if he tells me to get a vaccination shot, my happy Hawaiian butt will be down there getting a vaccination shot.
Well, listen, we're just about a little over 10 minutes left in the show. Would you mind doing one more song, man?
Sure.
Because I just,
He's
did
ready.
I mention I'm a fan?
He's a stalker. He's all that.
Again, if y'all are just tuning in, this is the Revolution Radio Show live with Tim Miner on 102.3 FM.
So there's a section on my album that it's called the Hymns Medley, because I've flipped stuff so much that I don't want the older generation to go, man, I don't even recognize these songs. So I did a thing for them, just for them, that is acoustic, orchestra, and a vocal of three of my grandfather's favorite hymns that he couldn't even get through. He would start one of them and just start weeping from the platform. And so I feel him every time I sing these. So this is one of them. It's an old song called "Draw Me Near." It goes like, so, I am thine, O Lord. I have heard thy voice as it told thy love to me. But I long to rise in the arms of faith and be closer drawn to thee. Draw me nearer, blessed Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, blessed Lord, to thy precious bleeding side. Consecrate me now to the service, Lord, by the power of grace divine. And let my soul look up to a steadfast hope, and my will be lost in thine. Draw me nearer, blessed Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, blessed Lord, to thy precious bleeding side.
Yo, that was absolutely amazing, man. You were super dope, man. Like I can't I can't say it enough, man. You are ridiculously dope. It is such a blessing to have you on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Today was amazing. Oh my gosh, inspiring, amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, Tim.
So let me ask you this before we let you go. I ask everybody this at the end of every show, right? This is, and God forbid this is the last time anyone would hear your voice, right? We're not wishing that, but God forbid, let's say this is, what would you want to say to people, and what would you want your legacy to be remembered as?
I hope that the legacy would, carry on with my sons that are both singers and both love God and both are taking their own, path, so I feel like they're my legacy that continues. But for me, I hope that I have given credit where credit is due. I hope I have left a body of music and creativity that inspires others. And again, I just want to say to anyone listening out there, if God can use me, he can use you. If he can teach me 17 instruments, maybe he can teach you 25, so it's never too late. It's never too late. So I hope that, I look at myself a little bit as a ladder holder, and I hope that I've done that well. And I hope when I get to heaven that God says, enter thou good and faithful servant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's so beautiful, man. For those who want to learn more about Tim Miner, or maybe just got introduced to Tim Miner, where can we look for you?
So I have my company is called MBK. It's right here. It stands for My Brother's Keeper. And I am my brother's keeper. And so that's the name of my label and the company. So there's a website called MBK and the number 4. So MBK4life.com. And all the new music's on there. Even my son, my 16-year-old son who's doing pop music, he's not even doing Christian music, it's on there. And then all the new updates and the tour dates, everything will be on that website, all of that stuff. So if you want to or I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I'm on all that stuff. So you can find all my
TikTok.
Stuff
okay. How's your TikTok? How's your TikTok going?
My son figured it out. Like my son has like 2 million, views on each thing he posts.
Oh, wow.
Mine is a little bit more subdued. But I mean his, like, even Spotify and all that, like I've been doing this my whole life, and my son put out one single last year and, all of a sudden had, 30,000 followers. So I haven't figured all that out. But it's, I'm proud of him. So there's no ego.
You had 30,000 people in the stands. You had real people.
There you go. Hey, I'm going to use that.
There you go. There you go. Thank you again for joining us. I know we're wrapping up soon. We appreciate you, Tim. Definitely got to stay connected. And for everyone who doesn't know Tim, go ahead and check him out. We have his Instagram posted, his website as well. Thank you again. God bless you, Tim.
God bless you guys.
Absolutely. So look, I'm telling y'all right now, this is the baddest white dude on the planet. You know what I mean? / Hawaiian / secretly black. You know what I mean? You got to check him out. I'm just gonna give my personal favorite album is called Tim Miner. It's on Motown. You know what I mean? And so I'm like I said, dude, I'm so geeked out that you were here, you know, hanging out with us. And so you know, for those of y'all listening, you got to check this dude out for real. Oh, real quick, when does the new one drop? Because I know it's dropping soon, right?
I just finished the album cover yesterday. I finished the last touches on the mixes yesterday. I have to turn everything in today to my distributor. And once I do that, they give me a physical date. It will be, I'm shooting for March 1st for it to come out then. So hopefully they love everything that I turn in and it's all the way it's supposed to be. And somewhere the first week of March, it'll be available, all platforms. I'm even doing vinyl so it'll be all of that. And then, like I said, we go on the road. A lot of churches are starting to open up. So
let us know when you come to Cali, man.
Hey,
but look, you know what? I'm gonna talk to you.
I'm doing clubs too. So, I mean, it's going to be both.
I never been to Nashville, so I definitely want to go out to Nashville.
Come on, girl. Yeah, as soon as it opening up.
Hey, if you need a Cali date, I can get you booked out here.
Man,
let me know.
What you waiting on?
Hey, I'm gonna hit you right after. We're gonna make this happen, man.
Just one more little plug. Me, Take 6, and Brian McKnight, and my son.
Get out of here.
DJ Miner. We're talking about some Christmas dates. We are going to do Europe and all of that, but we're talking about doing some Christmas dates in the U.S. together. So I'll keep you guys up on all of that as that develops.
Please.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get you some bookings here in the LA area, man. We're gonna make that do what it do. You know what I mean? I just want to act like you know what I mean? Be like, it's my man. I know him. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in. This is the Revolution Radio Show. I am Jay Love. Cherie Marlene had to break out early. She has some things to do. Miss Melian is always lovely and doing the thing. We had the incomparable, the super talented, the just unimaginably ridiculous Tim Miner, you know, with us. And so you know what it is, man. Check with us tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. And as always, I gotta let you know, man, reach for your best, reach for success, but most of all, reach for God, because God is love and love is everything. You dig? Aha! We out here, baby. You know what I mean? This is how we do it.
Oh my.